You could also be like, I don't Nico need your judgment. Hey guys, it's PanduhJess and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought that I would show you guys my anime figure collection as well as give you some of the tips that I use when deciding on what figure to buy. So I don't have the most extravagant collection, but I thought it's something that I still could share with you guys if you guys were wondering or wanted to see more up close features of my figures that I showed in my room tour. So a good few of these tips are based on going to conventions. Unfortunately, because of coronavirus, a lot of them that were lined up for me have been canceled. AX, since it's in July, hasn't said if it's going to be canceled or not, but they have canceled their reservations for hotels, which just tells me it's going to be a snowball effect from here. Nonetheless, I'd still give these tips because they're pretty important. I think they could still be applied to online shopping, which is pretty good too. So let's get started, you guys. Okay guys, so tip number one, I would say, is to have a game plan. Meaning, you have a list of your favorite anime of all time maybe, or just your favorite anime of the season or year. Mine, for example, would be Demon Slayer, Fruits Basket. Those are the two anime that I really got into this past year, so I would really love to see figures or try to find figures for those two specifically. So going to a convention, these would be the ones that I'm on the lookout for. Yes, I will still be looking at the other figures, but at the back of my head, I'm thinking about, oh, it's not Demon Slayer, it's not really what I want. It's very pretty, I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna stare at it, but I have a goal in mind, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. I try not to deter from the list because one, it saves me time, and two, it saves me money. It saves me time because I will not just be going in blindly and be like, oh, like, there's so much stuff, I'm not gonna get too overwhelmed and just, you know, go into a black hole of figures. It also saves me money because, of course, there's gonna be so many other figures. At the end of the day, you're focused and you know what you really want. For me personally, it helps having a goal.
So segueing into my first few figures, the first collection is my Cardcaptor Sakura ones. My most recent one is the clear card one, literally one of my favorite outfits from this series, and she has her new wand. Then we have this one, which is more of like a classic look. It has like arms and legs that move, and you can kind of tell from the ball joints. I'm not the biggest fan of these type of figures, only because they aren't as sturdy, but the wand and the cloud card and the Kero are detachable, which is very cute. And then we have my very first figure that I bought from my first AX. I love everything about it. The design, it looks like the classic clamp design on the manga. The color and the material is sturdy, it's just so well made, and it's probably my most expensive figure. I think it was like around $100, $150 when I got it, so it was a nice end to my first AX.
Okay, tip number two. I have this tip on my AX survival guide, but I feel like it applies to this too as well just because it involves money, and it is don't be impulsive, be picky and compare. So for a lot of items at Anime Expo, you can find a lot of the same product in other booths around the convention. And unfortunately, most of them are going to be like booths apart, like on the other side. And sometimes you just don't want to go through the whole exhibit hall. And I get it. It takes a really long time. You just want to get it when you're there at the first booth. But in the long run, it really helps to, you know, do your research, you guys. But yeah, especially during conventions, you're going to have that time. Conventions usually last 3 to 4 days, so take advantage of that and find the best price for the figure. Compare the figures to one another. There's no shame of doing that. At one booth, you may find the most amazing figure that you've ever laid your eyes on. It's happened to me, you guys. You find a great figure and you buy it impulsively because you're just thinking about like, oh, I really love this one, but you're literally only 20 minutes into the convention, and then maybe 30 minutes to an hour later, you find another figure at the other side of the exhibit hall. One thing I like to do to be prepared going into conventions is following the accounts of the vendors that I know are going to be at Anime Expo or another convention. Their Instagram accounts help a lot. They'll tell you what figures they may possibly bring or have, the date that it's going to be released, dates for pre-orders. So that stuff is important, especially if you're getting into figure collecting. Most of the time they catalog what figures they'll be bringing and what they will have, so it's definitely smart to follow their Instagram accounts.
My next few figures are my Love Live ones. I have Yo and Ruby. These are the ones from Love Live Sunshine or Aqua. I actually found these at the booth called J-List. I mainly visit them purely for Love Live figures because they're usually inexpensive and not bad quality. Sometimes if you ask, they give you a discount if you buy more than one, which is why I got both of them. It definitely doesn't hurt to ask, especially if you pay attention to the prices, because it can go higher on busier days like Fridays and Saturdays, and then go down on days like Thursdays and Sundays. It doesn't happen all the time, but this is just what I've observed over the 5 years that I've attended AX. But yeah, their faces, poses, and the event stands are so cute. They have their names on them. Most of the time for the Love Life figures, they don't connect, but they kind of connect in a way. So when you have all members, it looks really, really cute together.
So going off from tip number 2 into tip number 3 is to check out the big booths at the convention. So big companies like Good Smile, Kotobukiya, and Bon Presto, they always are going to have really great figure displays, and you can pretty much see the quality in these figures even though they're behind a display, which is one of the reasons why I really like going to them. Some figures that you might find from these companies include Nendoroids and scale figures from Good Smile. Kotobukiya has like standing figures and then also like action ones, which is really cool. And it's just like lined up and it's like walls and walls of of figures, so it's like a little museum of figures, which I like going through. And then Bon Presto has been getting into a lot of My Hero, and they also have like these Q-Paw skit figures, which are more like cutesy doll-like ones that kind of freak me out, but they're also a little bit cute. And then they also have their Colossus figures, which are more like scale figures. So yeah, Bon Presto actually had a display last year and it was just all My Hero. It was amazing. It was like such a badass display. I think I went to go visit it like maybe every single day I was there at the convention. So they also have like photo ops that you can take advantage of and just like posters, and it was just really fun going to their booth.
So the next ones are my Todorokis. I've got ones from Bon Presto and Good Smile. For me, I love getting different types of figures, the cutesy version and the more to the actual design of the character, like this one. I don't know, I just like the juxtaposition and how it looks displayed when they're all next to each other. There's like a tall and serious Todoroki next to a really small cutesy version. So I definitely like spreading out the types of like designs of the figures that I get and putting them all together.
So, tip number 4 for online shopping. For the longest time, I didn't even know anime conventions existed. We know now. We're smarter now. But yeah, I'd just be watching anime on YouTube and trying to find merch for my favorite anime. That wasn't even as accessible as it is today. So, for the ones who want to online shop and don't have access to anime conventions, Amazon is tough to navigate through sometimes, but once you get a feel for, looking for the right companies and looking for, searching certain keywords, it's a little bit easier to get through. They distribute Sega, which is really cool, Ban Presto sometimes. Those two are the main ones that are on Amazon, so you can definitely tell that those are going to be pretty good quality figures. I know that they distribute figures from anime like ReZero, Case Closed, Konosuba, oh, and Fate. Those are some of the ones that I've found. I don't shop on Crunchyroll as often, but I'm always on their store looking at stuff, and a good amount of it is always discounted if you guys were really into that and like saving money. Alright, so another online store is called Japan LA. They've been getting a lot of anime figures recently from Japan, so they're imported from Japan, and they get figures from like King of Artists, Bon Presto, Cute Posket, so these are like quality figures actually from Japan, and it's pretty exciting. They have an online store, so you can always check like the updates that they get and like what new things they'll be putting online.
Alright, you guys, so the last part of my collection would be my Detective Conan Case Close figures. I have quite a bit of these kind of figures because most of them were gifts, and I guess people know that I like Case Close because I got them like right before I started college. Anyways, it's just Conan in a lot of different costumes and like different clothes, which is really cute. They're all from, I think most of them are from the same company. I know that they got them from Amazon, so if you guys were wondering what some figures look like from online, this is kind of what most of them look like. My favorite one would be this detective one because he's dressed up like Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, guys, my fifth and final tip for you guys is that it's your collection, it's your preferences, so don't let someone bully you into changing what you want. There's gonna be a handful of people who don't understand your collection or will judge it, and I think that you should just ignore them. Their preferences definitely may not be like yours. They may see certain aspects of a figure that you don't see or that you don't even care about. They may actually see the figure differently, from their face to the paint job to the pose that they're in to their design of clothes. Like, they just might not like it. I mean, you can definitely let their comments of "I hate Ruby, like she's the worst in Love Live," or "Detective Conan's such an old anime, like why don't you stick to the newer one," like comments get to you. But you could also be like, I don't Nico need your judgment, because one truth always prevails, and that truth is that I don't really need your negativity in my life. What I'm trying to say is that it's your collection, and at the end of the day, if it's what you want, if it's what you like, you're the one who's going to be waking up to it, you're the one who's going to be looking at it, working near it, just being surrounded by them, then that's all that matters. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys liked going through my figures a little closely, if you guys enjoyed the tips, please subscribe to my channel for more anime content. And I'll see you guys next week. I'm PanduhJess. See you guys later. Bye!